The story is we all came to Boston independently after college and all involved in food cooperatives. And I was working with local produce farmers, buying all kinds of fruits and vegetables from them, paying them more fair prices, trying to get them a better deal in the market. And we realized we had all these products from the third world sitting in our warehouse that we had no clue who grew them, under what conditions. It evolved from a broad general idea we'd like to do something like that, or somebody should do something like that, or wouldn't that be a great thing? And then it was like meeting every 2 weeks, then meeting every week, then writing a business plan, raising money. And as I always say, nobody chickened out. We consciously went for a hybrid model. So we have elements of being a for-profit, elements of being a worker cooperative, and elements of being a nonprofit. We wanted some kind of entrepreneurial, market-driven sense to Equal Exchange. You can't really succeed if you don't succeed in the marketplace. When we got started, we had no real intention of being a coffee company. We really wanted to work around these issues of trade and directly connecting producers to consumers. Coffee became the vehicle to do that. If you want to deal with small-scale peasant farmers, coffee turns out to be a pretty good way to do that. We started this in 1986. That was right around the time the specialty coffee market was just beginning to take off. We were wise enough or lucky enough to take advantage of that and say this is a time where consumers are thinking about they want a different type of coffee experience. They're willing to pay more. They want higher quality. So Equal Exchange was able to be part of that transition and at least find some places where people in addition wanted more social values and more social justice. Despite our original vision of what we were trying to do, we're here now. 98% of our sales are coffee, and it continues to grow, and there's a lot more. Coffee can come from anywhere. So the normal model is it's either from a plantation, it's from a small-scale farmer who sold to a whole series of middle-level traders who probably took advantage of that producer. You just don't really know. Fair trade means it's from small-scale farmers, family farmers who own, modest amounts of land, a couple acres, usually 2, 3, 4, 5 acres. They're organized together in democratic cooperative groups. The buyer is committed to long-term relationships with that cooperative. So you can't just buy it one year and not the next and kind of play one group off another. You have to have a commitment to work with that group over time. You have to pay a minimum price, and the minimum price is $1.26 a pound. Many times the world market is much lower than that price. Right now, it's about 80 cents a pound, so it's only 2/3 of that price. You have to arrange or be willing to arrange pre-harvest financing for that. When you're ready to buy at the beginning of the season, you have to send down 60% of the money. And that allows them to escape a cycle of debt. And what we've done is we've created a network between U.S. consumers who do care about these issues, who would like to see more of their dollar get to the farmer, who would like peasant farmers to get a more fair deal, and that really care about those things. And they go and look for Equal Exchange coffee, and they buy it. And also people who just buy it because they like Equal Exchange coffee and they know we're doing something. They may not know all the details.
Well, we agree with the political agenda of fair trade, not free trade, but we're just here for free coffee.
Would you actually go out of your way to buy coffee from one of these organizations?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I care about the hunger, the poverty, and the injustice that is rampant in the third world, and coffee happens to be a product that is grown in the environments where people are the poorest, and healthcare and education is the lowest. We as a nation of coffee drinkers can make a huge impact if we start drinking fair traded coffee and demand that the major importers all pay a fair price to the farmers who grow the coffee.
We work with about 20 cooperatives in Mexico, El Salvador, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Colombia, Peru, Bolivia, so Central and South America, also Sumatra, and also in Tanzania.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Vicente Ventura y represento a más de 14,000 productores de El Salvador. Agradecemos a Oxfam America a Equal Exchange y a Transfer por el apoyo que nos están brindando en ayudarnos a traer el café acá con un poquito de paga más. Que el consumir una tacita de café ustedes del que se vende en las tiendas del mercado justo va a aliviar en gran parte la pobreza de las familias salvadoreñas. Con ese sobreprecio que nuestros agricultores y yo he recibido, hemos podido de alguna manera construir algunas escuelas, algunas guarderías en algunas comunidades y montar también algunos talleres de carpintería para los jóvenes.
Well, there's a real question about just people staying on the land and surviving. So if consumers don't get involved in these issues, you're going to have more and more peasant farmers failing, leaving their land, moving to the cities that are already totally overcrowded, more people growing things that make more money, which is to say drugs, essentially, and more people fleeing to wherever they can get a better job in the U.S. So it's kind of just draining their traditional economy, and people don't really want to leave there. They'd like to stay on their land. They'd like to grow the things they grow. They don't need to make all the money in the world. They just want to make enough to kind of make it. We started off really trying to build a model that was pushing to get as many benefits as possible to those who need them the most. So kind of turning upside down the traditional way of looking at markets, which is buy your commodities cheap and make a lot of profit and be happy. We're trying to say, let's try to pay the highest reasonable or the fair price, and even more when we can, to the producer right up front, and yet make it work in the marketplace. So we didn't know when we started this. We didn't really know what it meant when you did that, if you could even in fact do it. What we charge the customer to be part of a fair trade system is a great question, and we've had different ways to do that in the time we've been doing this for 14 years. Right now, compared to the specialty gourmet market, we're really asking customers to pay about what they would pay anyhow. We're asking customers to pay $7.99 a pound, $8.99 a pound for what's probably an organic bean, and it is definitely a fair trade bean. The fair trade model, by setting a floor on the commodity, is really susceptible to when the market is high and when the market's low. From 1989 to 1994, the world market was at its lowest point in a century in real terms. Equal Exchange continued to pay fair trade premiums through that entire period. It was extremely difficult to do that and even stay in business. It was driving cash out of our business because we were selling on a market price and paying way above market. Last year we spent over $400,000 on fair trade premiums. So that's $400,000 on $7 million in sales that went directly to farmers in the form of a higher price. We could have kept all that $400,000 and we have $400,000 more of profit. Now we still made profit. The bottom line is, putting that amount extra to farmers, we still made a few $100,000 in profit. So we could have made that much more profit if that was our desire. There's a lot of folks out there who have become used to a very, very nice, healthy profit margin that really is more than they need. And that's what we're able to compete on. It's the difference between more than they need and what you need.